Parental discretion advised.
This civilian talk. If you listen to that bullshit, that ain't even smart. Have you spewing out fake news? Get you ripped apart. But this Mr. P.I. and this civilian talk. Hey.
Yo, it's your boy Mr. P. Coming straight at you. Bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up America news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. You feel me? And I really mean that and shit today, man. You know what I'm saying? Today we're going to talk about that raid on Mar-a-Lago and shit. We're going to have a whole bunch of opinions on that, John. And how the DOJ is being weaponized and shit, you know what I'm saying, against you, me, anybody that's not with the left. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous and shit, you know what I'm saying? They literally on a search and destroy mission and shit. And Trump, well, actually, it's a number of motherfuckers. So Trump, Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, fucking Roger Stone. There's so many motherfuckers on the list of motherfuckers that the DOJ is going out for, when you actually got motherfuckers that you should be running down on, like the Bidens. Joe's been hiding, Hunter's been smoking, Kamala's been cackling, the suicide yourself Clintons and shit. There's so many motherfuckers that the FBI could be investigating and shit. The motherfucking Epstein's affiliates and shit. You know what I mean? But they going after law-abiding citizens and shit because they want to turn the country into a third world dictatorship. And we're going to get into that shit. We got a tiny bit of COVID news. We have insurance companies literally suing the vaccine manufacturers to cover the cost of payouts and shit. That's very interesting shit. We're going, you know what I'm saying, get into all that motherfucking shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch. I'm going to be back on the other side, and we're going to get it popping. I'm going to tell y'all why I didn't do the last show and shit, and we basically going to break that shit down. So don't move your motherfucking switch. Yeah, it's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Yo, it's your boy Mr. P. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming straight at you talking about that C. Marie body products. Listen, man, if you ain't taking your skin seriously, I strongly encourage you to change your thinking on that. Your skin is the largest organ on your body, and if you don't nourish it properly, it can poison you. You have to understand this and shit. It's not a game. Motherfuckers is playing with their motherfucking skin and literally putting them harsh chemicals, sulfates and parabens on their shit, and then they wonder why they breaking out, why they got dead skin cells everywhere, why they look like they shedding, why they shit look like it's, you know, two-tone. It's because you're not using all natural products, man. Get over to cmariebodyproducts.com and stop playing with yourself, man. Men, go get you some of that after gym. She got an all men's collection, a just for men collection, bro. You know what I mean? Go over there, get you some of that after gym. Females, go get you some of that Queen Yoni. You know what I'm saying? We know that y'all got pH balance issues and shit, and y'all need to take care of that. Only way to properly do that is with proper soaps, body butters, scrubs, to get your motherfucking cleanse as best as it can be and keep your skin nourished, man. My skin is 3 times as soft as it was. I don't even use the body butters and shit, but my shit feel like I got body butter on, man. Stop playing and shit. You already know it's your boy, Mr. P. I never steer you fucking wrong. It's your boy, cmariebodyproducts.com. cmariebodyproducts.com. Take your ass over to cmariebodyproducts.com. Stop playing with yourself, man. Go hook yourself up. Yeah, it's not as cheap as ivory, but it ain't gonna fuck your skin up like that cheap ass ivory or that cheap ass Dove. So, you already know what it is. It's your boy. So, y'all just gonna raid my man Trump like that?
I went down.
Somebody gotta do it. They coming for your rights, can you pay attention? Hey, now you see the ones protected by the system. Hey, they raided Trump's house, why they ain't raided Clinton's? Evidence of Hunter Biden, but he ain't in prison. Talk to justice system, but they want you to forget. Close your eyes, Epstein Island, why they hide the list? Ignore Clinton body count like it don't exist. Obey or they gon' ruin you if you don't submit. It's so crazy, they let liberals get away with murder. Did we forget Hillary's emails? They wiped the server. Joe and Hunter don't talk business, huh? They some liars. Why did Joe meet Bobby Ulinsky about his deals in China? Hey, who the big guy? Who getting 10%? So much money to Ukraine, how much have we spent? In a recession, never mind, cause they changed what it meant. And they mess with little kids, but you still on the fence. Hey, be ready for war, cause they won't smoke with we the people. I guess smoking crack is cool, but doing mean tweets is illegal. And they persecute Alex Jones, but you think justice is equal. And this country is ran by demons, it's time to destroy evil. They're coming for your rights, can you pay attention? Hey, now you see the ones protected by the system. Hey, they raided Trump's house, why they ain't raided Clinton's? Evidence of Hunter Biden, but he ain't in prison. Talk to justice system, but they want you to forget. Close your eyes, Epstein Island, why they hide the list? Ignore Clinton body count like it don't exist. Obey or they gon' ruin you if you don't submit.
Hey, the cleaners catching bodies out here hitting licks. Biden face bumping the Saudis, we ain't innocent. We see Hunter on the laptop getting intimate, but they coming after we the people and it's imminent. What's up with that raid, huh? You think we afraid, huh? You declaring war and we all ready to crusade, huh? We were made for war and they ain't ready for that fade, huh? Every single snowflake gonna melt when we invade, huh? We want that list and we want every single name. Every single person on it needs to be defamed. Then get the gasoline and get them ready for the flame. But no, you'd rather raid the 45th and point the blame. Bunch of suckers.
They coming for your rights, can you pay attention? Hey, now you see the ones protected by the system. Hey, they raided Trump's house, why they ain't raided Clinton's? Evidence of Hunter Biden, but he ain't in prison. Talk to justice system, but they want you to forget. Close your eyes, Epstein Island, why they hide the list? Ignore Clinton body count like it don't exist. Obey or they gon' ruin you if you don't submit.
And we back, folks. What's good with you, man? You know what I'm saying? You already know your boy been working extra hard and shit. I was going to do the show on Sunday. I had to slide down to North Carolina to pick up a motherfucking package, bring it back up here to Jersey and shit for Monday. And actually, was it for Monday? No, it was for Tuesday. I had to pick it up Monday, drop it off Tuesday. And what ended up happening was, you know what I'm saying, ended up on the road for longer than expected and shit. Ended up having some truck trouble and shit. Got to pick the package up and got it to its destination on time and shit. But I had a motherfucking tire that was just eating tread off itself and shit, just unlimited fucking the whole time, you know what I'm saying, I was riding. So I got to North Carolina, my tire, I seen that shit was eating itself and shit, seen the tread marks, taking that shit off and shit, and it was literally losing rubber fast as shit. It was only a 500-mile ride. I shouldn't have lost that much rubber in 500 miles. So I had to get down there, adjust my motherfucking steering and shit, pick up the load, picked it up, had to adjust it again on premises of the place and shit. Then I fucking drove for like a couple hours and shit, stopped to get gas, looked at my tire again, had to stop and motherfucking adjust that joint again because it was super low on tread. So this time I got it adjusted perfectly. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drive super fucking cautiously. I'm just going to drive super slow. And hopefully that do the fucking trick. So I ended up getting back home and shit, driving at like 50 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? They stopped eating the tread off. I stopped at multiple places to buy a new tire and shit. They like, yeah, you gotta buy your joint online and all this kind of shit. So I was irked and shit. So I had to go to Jersey. I tried to get my tire changed in the middle of the night, but when I got to the tire change place and shit, and we looked at it, I still had enough tread on that joint. It stopped eating the tread off, so I had enough tread on that joint to make it to Jersey. So I got to Jersey and back, went to a couple Walmarts with auto care centers and shit. They ain't had my tire and shit, ended up buying it online. You know what I'm saying? Got it today, changed the spark plug and the coil pack. And cylinder 7, I already did cylinder 5 and cylinder 8 after I did all of them when I first got the truck. But I must have bought some super cheap ass spark plugs because, yeah, they fucked up. Fucked up again. So, you know what I'm saying? Had to go through that shit. You know what I mean? That was a pain in the ass. So as soon as I get a surplus of cash and shit, I'm going to have to motherfucking buy a whole 10 set of spark plugs and change them all at the same time just so I ain't gotta deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a day project or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's gonna keep me on the road at the same time. So, you know what I mean? That's why I didn't do the show. Instead of a fucking 9-hour ride, it ended up being an 11-hour ride and shit. Basically 10 and 50 minutes because of all the stops I had to make. And then on the way home, it ended up being another 11-hour ride and shit, 10 and some change and shit, because I had to motherfucking run around. I was looking for tires, and I was riding here and riding there, wasting time and shit. And jumped on a couple expressways twice and shit, going back and forth and shit. You know what I mean? It was just nutty as fuck. And it was inconvenient, and I was so fucking wiped out that I couldn't even do the show. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know, I really had a lot of news that would have been good to listen to, good to hear. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't do it, folks. You know what I'm saying? I was too done. I was wiped out. I got up too early and had to drive too long. I was up probably about 4 hours before I started driving. You know what I'm saying? And you're allowed to work 14 hours, but I had already spent 4 of them Jones in the crib getting my shit together and shit, and then had to do 11 hours on the fucking road and shit. You know what I'm saying? Plus a pre-trip, a post-trip, and a half an hour break, which ended up being just too fucking long and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I got there in time to shut down and still had 10 hours to be down and get up and get to my destination and shit. So that was love. I appreciated that. I stopped at I parked up at a Planet Fitness, and when I got up for the day, ran over there, fucking took a shower and shit, came back out, worked on my truck a little bit, and then pulled off to my destination and shit. You know what I'm saying? Got some gas, then pulled off. And you know, it was just, you know, it was what it was. You know what I mean? It was, God was with me as usual and shit. You know what I mean? The truck act up, and then, you know what I mean? If you drive it right, it won't act up. So, like, when I get overzealous and start speeding and shit, that shit hit about 80, 87. That shit just start acting up for the rest of the ride. Then you gotta cut it off, cut it on and shit. Sometimes you can get it up to like 90 and shit and ride for hours and hours and hours, and nothing wrong will be with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I gotta change some spark plugs and shit. You know what I mean? Get that shit official. I fixed the problem so far and shit, so my truck is in running condition. But now I gotta get another tire for the passenger side of my truck and shit, because after I fixed the tire on the driver's side from eating all the tread off, the passenger side started eating all the tread off, and it's just like a fucking hassle and shit. So I gotta get another tire plus an alignment, and yeah, man, we'll be back on the road next week, no problem. But realistically and shit, man, I was on the road and I heard about this raid on Mar-a-Lago and shit. Crazy part is they waited till Trump wasn't home and shit, you know what I mean, and ran down on this establishment. Now, you obviously know Mar-a-Lago is a golf course / residence and shit. Fucking Trump has already turned over 15 boxes of, documents and shit that they wanted back, that they took from the White House and shit. So he turned over 15 boxes, and then they turned around and just raided his shit. No reason. They still haven't given us an explanation. They don't know why the fuck they did it and shit. They just know they did it and shit. It is what it is. This is a political stunt to motherfucking stop fucking opposite party motherfuckers from, being able to run or succeed in politics and shit. This is obviously all political, and all they trying to do is make a scene so you be like, oh, we can't trust Trump. Well, y'all trusted Hillary even though all her fucking information came out on WikiLeaks and shit. All the fucking pedophilia shit. Mind you, she's a pedophile lawyer and shit. You know what I mean? They was close with the Epsteins, her and Bill. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about, you know what I'm saying, what Trump doing and shit. Like, we got a lot of shit to arrest a lot of motherfuckers for. Like, Joe's been hiding, you know what I mean, his motherfucking overseas business dealings with motherfucking China through Hunter's been smoking. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because, don't know, the Justice Department not looking into that at all. They just want the political opposition and shit, you know what I'm saying? They want Trump because they know he not about this New World Order globalist takeover bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They only want the New World Order globalist takeover to happen and shit, you know what I'm saying? And if we get Trump in, they know that shit not gonna fucking happen. We postponed it last time we're getting in Trump, and now, you know what I'm saying, we'll postpone it again. So China says by 2028 they should be running America and shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about that. What happens at the end of 2028? It's a new election cycle. So that means if the Democrats got in from 20 to 24 and then from 25 to 28, you know what I'm saying, they gave up the fucking country. You can literally see that these niggas is passing bills. The fucking Inflation Reduction Act only adds to the inflation and shit. So they putting new taxes on gas and all that shit that's gonna drive the prices up. All types of dumbass shit, man. They setting us up for failure, and they keep passing this shit through the House and the Senate because they got the fucking numbers. And this is what's happening, man. If we don't get out with this election cycle and get the House flipped back to Republican and get the Senate majority Republican and shit, then we fucked up, dog. You know what I'm saying? We fucked. You know what I'm saying? And you can act like you don't know what fucked is, but nigga, reach around and grab your ass cheek. Now imagine a politician doing that to you, and then sliding in you with no rubber on and no lube, but sliding in you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that don't sound comfortable at all and shit. But he's spreading your ass cheeks and sliding on in. You know what I'm saying? We're about to pay more for everything on top of already paying more for every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to talk about this. We all want to be lefty fucking losers and shit and do it the lefty loser way. You know what I'm saying? And sweep everything they do up under the rug. Meanwhile, we're going to put everything we do out in the fucking public and demonize it. You know what I'm saying? When they got the shit that's worth demonizing. Black Lives Matter, worth demonizing. Fucking Antifa, worth demonizing. Democrats, worth demonizing. Fucking Democrat policies, worth demonizing. The House, worth demonizing. The Senate, worth demonizing. Because you got fucking Lindsey Graham, bitch ass. Y'all already know how I feel about Lindsey Graham and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't even have to re-explain that, so I won't. You know what I'm saying? Then you got fucking Mitch McConnell, pussy ass. Y'all know how I feel about Mitch McConnell. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to, you know what I mean, go into that as well and shit. You know what I mean? I would just be beating the motherfucking dead horse. And what's the point of beating the dead horse, right? You know what I'm saying? We might as well find us another horse to jump on. You know what I'm saying? But these pussy motherfuckers in the Republican Party, dog, fucking all these weirdo fucking, they actually lefty losers that just call themselves Republican. Liz Cheney, lefty loser, call herself Republican and shit. She is control opposition and shit. She just has a Republican over her tag, but she's actually a fucking lefty loser Democrat, bro. You know what I'm saying? With the fucking Green New Deal and all that shit, bro. Like, literally, we are about to be fucked over completely, and nobody wants to talk about this shit. You heard all the bitching and moaning in the world when Trump was the fucking president. Now we don't hear no bitching and moaning when the economy is way worse than when Trump was fucking in office. Gas costs way fucking more than when Trump was in office. Food costs way more than when Trump was in office. Everything costs way more fucking since Trump was in office. And we fucking talking about raiding Mar-a-Lago for what? He's not the one raising gas prices. He's not the one raising oil prices. He's not the one cutting off fucking natural resources and natural gas and coal fucking power plants and shit. He not the one stopping pipelines and shit. He not the one giving fucking weapons to Ukraine and shit that's just magically disappearing like Lucky Charms in the bowl after you fucking ate that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? These niggas, you know what I'm saying, is doing all this shit and then pointing the finger at fucking Trump. How is Trump anywhere in the fucking picture when y'all doing the worst shit in the history of America? Y'all selling this out, literally, and stealing all the money at the same time, and we talking about Trump? Man, this shit crazy. The police commissioner in New York, like, look, man, Trump might be, the next step is to assassinate that man. They not gonna keep letting him, you know what I'm saying, just roll around and, you know, defy them and shit. The history has shown if they went this far, then they gonna try to kill you next. If they can't get you with this, they're gonna try to kill you next, Trump. The ex-police commissioner of New York came out and said that shit. Put your motherfucking lighters up, man. Just put them up. And we talk about Trump. I can't believe society, man. I really can't believe society. I can't believe motherfuckers is dumb enough to fall for this shit, man. I can't believe motherfuckers really believe that doing this shit is legal and lawful. It's clearly illegal as fuck, but it's like they saying fuck it. They just throwing out all the rules at one time. Look, man, fuck them rules, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Stop tripping. Mr. P, stop fucking tripping, please, because all you do is be tripping. You know what I'm saying? All I do is be fucking tripping and shit. This shit fucking crazy, man. Shit is fucking crazy, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of motherfucker, you know, listen, man, I call a spade a spade. Yeah, I call an acorn an acorn. I call a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, dog. Like, y'all know I'm a real ass motherfucker, man. That's why y'all fucks with me, and that's why y'all fucks with this show. But I gotta let y'all know, man, the way we sitting on our hands and not doing nothing, man, we fucking up big time, dog. These Democrats is literally taking the fucking country over, and we letting them, and we fucking watching this shit happen, and we sitting here like, like ain't shit going on and shit, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just fucking ridiculous, bro. You know what I'm saying? I never been in the state of awe that I'm in right now and shit, man. I never thought I would see the day where you can just, you can't, look, that's the thing. The rules is you can't investigate somebody running for president. You can't open an investigation on a sitting president. They opened like 12 of them. You know what I'm saying? All them impeachments was fake ass investigations and shit. They tried Russia collusion. That shit didn't work. They tried Ukraine delusion. That shit didn't fucking work. You know what I'm saying? They tried Roger Stone. That shit didn't fucking work. They tried Steve Bannon. That shit didn't work. They tried January 6th. That shit not working. And then they gonna fucking send the FBI into a motherfucking crib that's already voluntarily giving you the shit that you asked for? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all see what the fuck this shit is, bro. I mean, y'all can sit here and act like y'all know what the fuck is going on and shit, but y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let's get the news started, because it's just like it's overwhelming sometimes and shit to just sit back and know that motherfuckers is on some weird ass shit and y'all just cool with that shit happening. Like, that shit fucks me up. That shit fucks me up real bad too. Like, I really be perplexed by some of y'all attitudes. Y'all spent all fucking 2018, 19, 16, 17, 18, and 19 bitching. Y'all had the best fucking lives possible. Y'all was bitching. Now, I don't hear a peep out of none of you motherfuckers. Man, that shit right there, if you ain't checked yourself by now, you done wrecked yourself. Real shit, man. You know what I mean? They fucking, you can't build guns no more without background checks and all this shit. You can't buy certain shit. You can't buy parts without background checks. All the constitutional shit, they throwing out the window and telling you can't do. And they seeing to it that you can't do it and shit. But here go my man Paul Joseph Watson. The truth about the raid on Trump. Let's do it. I mean, yeah.
You ever think Trump derangement syndrome would escalate to Stalinist show trials, to the overt weaponization of government agencies sicked on political adversaries? Because here we are. Why did the FBI raid Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate? Well, here's the TLDR version. The deep state and the regime are increasingly terrified at the mere prospect of Trump running again and winning. They've seized control of every branch of the federal government and staffed it with NKVD-style enforcers. The FBI raided Trump under the dubious auspices of a supposed investigation into fucking
classified
shit
documents
crazy when he left office. But the 15 boxes of documents that Trump took from the White House were returned to the National Archives back in January, and the safe that the FBI broke into was reportedly completely empty. But that doesn't seem to matter. Even an absence of documents could be used to claim that Trump deliberately destroyed them. And I'm sure that the FBI would never plan anything, would they? Trump is then convicted of mishandling White House records, faces up to 3 years in prison, and under US Code Title 18, Section 2071, anyone guilty of this shall forfeit his office and be disqualified from holding any office under the United States. And that's it, Trump 2024 is finished. They could also use the raid as a fishing expedition to bolster the flagging foundational myth that Trump incited or planned January 6. Breaking, FBI finds 200 corpses, 4 quadrillion terabytes of CP, and personal journal where former President Trump wrote, quote, "I will march on Congress and break as many laws as possible on January 6th at Mar-a-Lago."
He really wrote that?
The massive overreaction and dubious legality of raiding Trump could end up helping him politically. Observers say US Code Title 18, Section 2071 is superseded by the Constitution, which alone sets the eligibility criteria for the presidency. Some are even suggesting that if this all fails, they could just go right to trying to take out Trump physically.
And I hear people talking. They said the Democrats want this guy so bad that they wouldn't put assassination behind it. And I'm going to tell you something. They've tried impeachment. They've tried another impeachment. They've tried one investigation after another.
While he was a sitting president.
This is about stopping him from running in 2024.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not into conspiracies. I'm not into anti-government rhetoric. This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
The Biden White House claimed no prior knowledge of the raid, and if you believe that, you probably believe that Biden's cognitive capacity is comparative with the top tier of Mensa. And of course, this has everything to do with Democrats being in a blind panic over polls showing Trump beating Biden in 2024. Numbers which prove the January 6th show trial hearings are yet another ineffectual damp squib. A new video shows Biden struggling to put on his own jacket.
Oh, where's my sleeves? Where's my sleeves? Hey, can you help me find my sleeves? Hey, help me. Help me, please. There we go. There we go. Yep, there go my sleeve. Okay, no, that's the pocket. Okay, there go the sleeve. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Hold on. I got my jacket now. Whoop, there go my glasses.
Clearly becoming more and more incapable with each passing day. They could run a marshmallow up against Trump in the debates and it'd probably perform better than Biden. In fact, Biden's bumbling idiocy is the perfect cover.
They're going to cancel the debates again.
Regime. A deep state now brazenly trying to imprison its political adversaries as it lashes out in its final death rattle. But while rigged show trials and third world style purges are the Democrats' method of choice, establishment Republicans seem more concerned with winning a pointless moral argument. Oh, if only the despotic totalitarians would maintain ideological consistency and fairness like us. Let's just point out their hypocrisy and maybe they'll stop doing all this. Yeah, good luck with that. You'll regret weaponizing the FBI when the GOP gets into power. Lol, said the Scorpion, LMFAO. But what about Hunter Biden? What about it? Who cares? Why would Democrats care about optics when they're busy trying to lock up all the dissidents? GOP House Leader Kevin McCarthy told Attorney General Merrick Garland to, quote, preserve your documents. Ooh, I bet he shat his pants. Maybe he'll even have to attend a futile hearing. Lindsey Graham said the raid was problematic. Whoa, careful with that rash rhetoric there, Lindsay. Don't want to sound too extreme. If they can do it to a former president, imagine what they can do to you. They've already done it to Trump supporters, some of whom are still being tortured in jail as January 6th political prisoners. Rubio says never before in America has government power been used to persecute political opponents. Has he been living under a rock for the past 5 years? Half the people who helped elect Trump have been targeted for total destruction. Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, meanwhile, hasn't even bothered to tweet about the raid. Not a single tweet. The likes of Paul Gosar and Marjorie Taylor Greene, on the other hand, two people repeatedly backstabbed and shunned by the Republican establishment, dared suggest that when Republicans, if ever, get back into power, they actually play the same game as the Democrats and, get this, exercise their power while in office to target the people and agencies responsible for all this. Incredible, I know. Maybe if, somehow, Trump wins again, he won't appoint to high positions of power the very same people who want to sabotage and destroy him. Rubio and co are right about one thing, though. America is now a banana republic, a perfect mirror of tyranny. Lawlessness at the bottom, lawlessness at the top. A country where actual criminals are given total free rein. And the truth tellers are demonized, persecuted, and ultimately eliminated. Since 2016, the deep state hasn't tried to hide what it's doing. They want everyone to know what they're doing, to frighten any and all political opposition into cowed silence, to collectively monster tens of millions of Trump supporters as domestic extremists, to make their lives a misery, to make an example out of them. We already know all that, but the bigger question remains, are Republicans actually going to do anything about it?
Nope. You know what I'm saying? We already know what they're going to do. Going to piss their pants per usual and shit. Weirdo ass motherfuckers, man. They straight bitches. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you better preserve your documents. Yeah, preserve the documents. Wow. Deep state next step will be assassination after Trump raid warns former NY police commissioner. Now, y'all just heard that on the Paul Joseph Watson segment, but y'all gonna hear it in full over here. If you want to check it out, you can slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com and check it out for yourself and shit. Former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik has warned that the FBI raid on President Trump's home does not stop him from running in 2024. The next step for those seeking absolute control of the U.S. political system will be assassination. Yes, that's what he said. Let's check it.
A couple different social events, and I heard people talking. They said the Democrats want this guy so bad that they wouldn't put assassination behind it. And I'm going to tell you something. They've tried impeachment. They've tried another impeachment. They've tried one investigation after another. This is about one thing. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not into conspiracies. I'm not into anti-government rhetoric. This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
One more time for the folks in the back, just in case you did not hear it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to understand.
I heard people talking. They said the Democrats want this guy so bad that they wouldn't put assassination behind it. And I'm going to tell you something. They've tried impeachment. They've tried another impeachment. They've tried one investigation after another. This is about one thing. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something.
It's about what?
This is about stopping him from running in 2024. Thing. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not into conspiracies. I'm not into anti-government rhetoric. This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid of Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people. Trump. I would not put assassination. I would not put assassination. I would not put assassination behind these people. I would not put assassination behind these people for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people. Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people. Put assassination behind these people. Not put assassination behind these people. I would not put assassination behind these people.
Yeah, man. Motherfuckers is telling you what the fuck is actually happening in live time. A lot of motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't want to accept the fact that it's actually happening and shit, but it's actually happening, folks. You know what I mean? I need y'all to understand that, you know, just because you refuse to believe that it's happening doesn't mean it's not happening and shit. So if they can come for a sitting president, a former president, they didn't go after Barack, they didn't go after Clintons, they didn't go after the Bushes, they went after Eisenhower, they went after JFK, they popped his ass. I think it was one more president they was willing to kill and shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, bro. You mean our country is being flushed down the fucking tubes and shit. Literally, in front of us. You know what I'm saying? And we're like so sidetracked by the other shit going on, which is understandable. I got other shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that it's a lot going on in the world and shit, but we have to take the time out to understand these events that happen and shit are planned. They're strategic. And they're not going to stop till they get what they want. You know what I mean? It's clear at this point. You know what I mean? But here go Rand Paul. FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago is an attack on the rule of law because it's all illegal, bro. It's all illegal. But y'all knew that already. Y'all know how it go. I mean, this shit is crazy.
They believe that the president learned about it, or they know that the president learned about it when we all did, when it was reported in the news. But Trump on Truth Social wrote this: Biden knew all about this, just like he knew all about Hunter's deals. Do you think that if the AG is involved and the director of the FBI are giving the go-ahead, do you think the president knew?
Of course.
You know, I think this is an attack on our constitutional republic. I think it's an attack on the rule of law. This is the FBI being used as a political weapon against your opponents. And do I think the director of the FBI knew? Absolutely. Do I think the attorney general knew? Absolutely. I can't vouch for how far it went up, and they may have tried to keep the White House at arm's length. But I wouldn't be surprised if the White House knew. But I can tell you I'm not surprised with Christopher Wray. I've challenged him before on whether or not it's constitutional to allow foreign intelligence warrants to be used against Americans. You'll remember when they spied on Trump to begin with, it was a foreign intelligence court and a warrant. This is not really the same constitutional standard as the Fourth Amendment, and so they don't have to prove probable cause. And it was a terrible thing that we allowed to happen in our country, and it should never be used against a Republican or a Democrat candidate. But he allowed that and agrees with that. So I'm not surprised that he also would allow something like this to happen. But it's demoralizing for the country, and it takes away so much faith in our law enforcement to say, oh my goodness, they're going to use the FBI to go after people they disagree with politically. This is a sad moment for our country.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. But the thing is, I like to know what the warrant says. Number one. Number two, I would like to know if does the Department of Justice understand it's in their best interest to start speaking out? They're overwhelming any message that you think Democrats want to talk about with these bills passing. This is smothering everything. Do you think it's incumbent on them, not hopeful, but do you think it's incumbent on them to speak out today or tomorrow and say, what were you doing?
Without question, I think the order to allow the raid on Mar-a-Lago on Trump's house has to be revealed. I think we have to know, under what pretense do they think this is right. I think it's going to have to wait till November till there's a full investigation. And I've never been a fan of overusing impeachment, but I think there has to be an investigation, and if it warrants it, there's going to have to be a look at whether or not the Attorney General has misused his office for political purposes.
But the Democrats is going to outvote that.
I mean, this is beyond the pale. No one would have ever imagined before that we would be using, or one political party would be using the FBI to attack their political opponents. Now, this is really something that's going to require investigation, and I wouldn't be surprised if the investigation leads to abuse of power, that this could even lead to an impeachment of the Attorney General.
As it should.
Meantime, Senator, the White House is set to admit more migrants after DHS ends Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. All this as Texas Governor Greg Abbott continues to bus migrants to blue cities. At this point, Senator Paul, what is left to deter these migrants from entering our country illegally? Seems like there's nothing left.
I think it draws attention to it by sending them to New York, and so attention is drawn to all these people flooding into the country. But ultimately, we have to do this. We have to change our laws and or court opinions to get to the point where if you come in illegally, you're sent immediately back. I think the system should be such that if you're caught illegally crossing, you're picked up and immediately deposited on the other side. Nobody's allowed to enter illegally. We don't have them come in. We don't have all this long court process. If you're caught in the commission of entering the country illegally, you should be sent back. Combined with that, though, is I'm not anti-lawful immigration, and I'm actually for more work permits. I'm for more lawful immigration. We have many good friends who came here. My town is full of great people who came here who immigrated lawfully. So I'm for more of that. And I think we actually could have more of that lawfully, but we can't have any. I would send everybody back, but right now they won't let you. I mean, even under the Trump administration, we had Remain in Mexico, which was something we agreed to with Mexico, but still people crossing the border weren't remaining in Mexico. We weren't really able to send people back. I would send everyone back 100% until they get the idea that you can't come in illegally, line up at the official port of entry, and guess what? If you do it lawfully, I think we can actually admit even more lawful people than we do now.
Senator, we're so sorry for everything that your folks in Kentucky have gone through with the recent flooding. I know that affected really eastern Kentucky and then western Kentucky. They were affected by last winter's tornadoes. And you're asking to use, for these waivers, to use money from COVID to help these individuals and help their families. How is that going? What do you have to do? What is that process? And will they allow you to do that?
There's hundreds of billions of dollars that was allocated. It was way too much for COVID. In fact, nobody wants any more masks. They don't want any more home tests. Don't send these people who can't live in their house anymore. They don't want 100 home tests for COVID. But that money could be more wisely spent on infrastructure, and there's 100 some odd bridges in Knott County that have been wiped out by just an unprecedented flood. And so let's reorient that money towards something more useful. We did pass legislation to allow local county judge executives and local magistrates to reassign some of the money, but there still are some attachments. And what I'm proposing is that President Biden give a waiver for disaster areas. The president officially designates disaster areas. Why doesn't he just give them a waiver? We should also give them a waiver to the onerous EPA requirements. One of the big complaints they have in Knott County and Perry County is the ditches are full of silt, and they've been filling up the ditches and creeks for probably decade upon decade. They want to deepen their creeks by dredging them. And then the Corps says they can't because of the EPA, because of some crazy, environmental alarmist, when dredging the creek is what provides safety for these people. Right now it's raining hard in eastern Kentucky, and because the ditches are already full of water and already full of silt, they're worried about flooding even with less severe rain than they got the last time.
All right. Senator, it's perilous times. Would you say, in particular, with the amount of people who are now unifying around the President of the United States, do you think that this might be a good time for him to declare if he's going to run?
I think it's better to go through the midterm elections. We need to win the midterm elections based on our candidates and our message. And then I think the presidential election should wait till after the midterms. I think it'd be a big mistake no matter what. I do think, though, they're making a martyr of the former president, and if anything, elevating his chances. And the thing is if the mass majority of the country thinks that the government is actually using the apparatus of their FBI to go after a candidate, it will make him even more popular. And they think that people are just going to lay down and say, oh, no, it looks like criminal activity. No, people distrust so much the government that we've gotten to the point where, for example, do I know that the boxes of material they took from Mar-a-Lago, that they won't put things in those boxes to entrap him? Exactly. How do we know? Their lawyers weren't allowed to see the boxes go. They weren't categorized.
That's going to be a problem.
And they already said that, he wrote down, we're going to break all the laws on January 6th. Come on, he going to write that and put it in a fucking classified document? Come on, dog.
Thousands of documents were taken. Yeah, how do we know that they're going to be honest with us about what's actually in the boxes? How do we know that was in the box before it left the residence if the lawyers weren't allowed to see everything? So, they've lost a great deal of trust, and it's a sad day for the country because this truly is an attack on our constitutional republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it truly is an attack on our constitutional republic. Don't nobody want to talk about that shit, though, man. That's the thing, dog. This shit is fucking crazy and shit. You know what I mean? Everybody on some shit. You know what I mean? Fuck it, it's Trump. What you bitching for? Because my life was so much better when Trump was in office. I had $2 and change gas. The world oil reserves was full to its maximum potential. Well, our oil reserves was full to the maximum, 100 million gallons. Now, what we got? It's twice the price. For what? Because y'all don't like mean tweets? Come on, man. Y'all niggas for real, though? Y'all for real? Bullshit. Megyn Kelly goes ballistic over FBI's raid against Trump, says it's about January 6th. You know what I'm saying? Political commentator Megyn Kelly launched into inclusive tirade over the FBI naked political prosecution of former President Donald Trump with their pre-dawn raid at Mar-a-Lago estates and shit. You know what I'm saying? You already knew motherfuckers were going to be outraged, and we are actually outraged. Let's check it out.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly. Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show. We are tracking breaking developments this afternoon after former President Donald Trump's private residence was searched by the FBI in an early morning raid yesterday morning. That's not technically the correct legal term because they did get permission from a court, but it's the term that...
It wasn't even a real fucking court. This was a magistrate. So this motherfucker literally did work for Epstein and shit. The nigga that they got to sign this document and shit literally worked for employees of Epstein and shit. So therefore he worked for Epstein and shit. And then y'all go get this motherfucker? Come on, man. We know what time it is already.
That Donald Trump is using, and it's something that seems correct based on what happened there. Some 30-plus agents descending on Mar-a-Lago before sunrise, reportedly seeking classified documents that he allegedly took from the White House when he left office back in 2021. And in a word, my response to that is bullshit. Bullshit. There is no way that's what they were searching for. There's no way. I watched all the coverage last night. I've read everything. And I read Andy McCarthy this morning, who, as it turns out, agrees with me. I agree with him. He's a former top prosecutor, former assistant U.S. attorney. And he says the same thing. This is about January 6th. If you believe this is about classified documents having to do with bullshit Trump took with him when he left office, your head is in the sky. This is about January 6th and the never-ending desire to get Donald Trump on something.
Exactly.
They don't want him to run for election again.
Exactly.
They want him behind bars. They want him disqualified under the Presidential Records Act or whatever they can possibly find. They don't care. They don't care. They're mad. They're mad he did not get convicted on the first or the second impeachment. They're mad that he did not get pursued criminally by the New York DA. They are mad that Russiagate fell apart. And they are mad that he's leading in the polls. He's crushing DeSantis. His candidates of choice all made it into office, virtually all of them last week. And they are prepared to unleash hell. The Democrats play dirty. And Merrick Garland is very clearly willing to go along with that. He's been moving in the concentric circles toward Donald Trump over the past several weeks, going after his top advisor.
We knew what it was when he came out and said there will be no investigations into Trump in the coming weeks and shit. They ran down on him 2 weeks later. Come on, man. We knew what that shit was. Whenever they come out in the public and tell y'all niggas they not going to do something, they about to do it. It's a signal.
Subpoenaing them. You know, we've seen close Trump advisors in handcuffs, dragged away as if they're mobsters. This is really getting alarming. And the American public deserves answers. Did Attorney General Merrick Garland personally sign off on this?
Yeah, yes,
mad. He did. There's zero chance.
He mad because he was supposed to go to the Supreme Court.
Or we don't know if
Trump
sure,
stopped that shit. Like, nah, bro.
Chance. He didn't. Did the White House have any prior notice? They're actually claiming they had no idea from Twitter. Sure they did. Sure. Okay. Just like they had no idea that letter from the school boards was coming out asking the DOJ to label parents domestic terrorists. The White House had no idea. Oh, really? They orchestrated the whole thing. We found that out later, thanks to some record requests by some well-meaning citizens.
Some FOIA.
When are we going to see the FBI's justification for this raid? It's all laid out in an affidavit in front of a magistrate judge down in South Florida. Let's see it. Put it out. You're so sure he committed a crime? Great. Tell us all. It's 90 days before a midterm election. Show the American public. What did the former president allegedly do? Don't we have a right to know?
Yes.
Right? How does he get raided and Hunter Biden doesn't get raided and Jim Biden doesn't get raided and Hillary Clinton never get raided, but Donald Trump
gets raided?
He gets raided. His safe gets busted into.
Nothing.
He's not even on the
property. It was nothing in that joint.
Later,
they
we're going to be joined by two of the top legal experts in the
country.
He knew
that shit was coming.
Dershowitz is here, and Harmeet Dillon, who's representing another case. Let's not forget, another client, Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, or his organization, that got raided, seizing all of his private and personal information and that of his employees because they had the nerve to investigate a story involving President Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley, and her private diary, which she clearly left at some friend's house, and it got passed around from people who wanted them to publish a story that included reportedly alleged incidents between Ashley Biden and her dad, Joe Biden, that they did not want to see the light of day. So the FBI raids Project Veritas. What happened to the First Amendment? Did Merrick Garland sign off on that too? Did Joe Biden know about that too? Because, I'm thinking if my diary got stolen, the FBI wouldn't be tracking it down with a raid. This is the state of America right now. This is getting crazy. The politicization of our law enforcement agencies is deeply disturbing. I don't care whether you hate Donald Trump. I don't care whether you campaigned for Hillary and then Joe Biden. This is deeply, deeply disturbing.
Yeah, man. We all agree with you, Megan. You ain't even got a trip like that and shit. We all fucking agree with you and shit. It's sad, man. You know what I mean? We're watching this shit happen right before our eyes and nobody is willing to do nothing about it. Everybody acting like the shit don't exist. And the problem gonna be, motherfuckers is gonna get the same treatment and want justice and then be like, motherfuckers gonna be like, well, remember when that shit happened to Trump? Remember? You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas, y'all ain't give a fuck then. Y'all ain't give a fuck then. You know what I mean? Now that it's happening to you and shit, you like, oh, this is against the law. Exactly. Y'all niggas is corny as shit, man. Real shit, y'all corny as shit. You know what I mean? And I'm one of the motherfuckers like, look, I try to keep it as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to keep it real with y'all and shit, regardless of how I feel about the situation and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why y'all fucks with me. You know what I mean? Because of that realness. Y'all know I'm going to give it to you just how I can give it. You know what I'm saying? Just how I get it, I'm going to give it. With a little twist on it. You already know. But, yeah, man, it's fucking sad and shit. You know what I mean? But, FBI agent has hilarious meltdown on MSNBC after Trump raid. Let's check it out.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you guys are joining me today. And what we have here is the FBI spokesperson appearing on MSNBC and completely melting down, unhinged, trying to gaslight Americans into what took place last couple days where the FBI raided the Trump residency at Mar-a-Lago, and them coming out and whining about the use of the word raid, that trying to seize on all the Republicans who've called a raid, and that's what's been known for decades. When the FBI descends upon a home with a search warrant, they are raiding you. They are coming to look for something. It's a raid, and that's what they're doing. And this FBI agent here is all just beside himself over on MSNBC. He wants to make sure the public knows it wasn't a raid. It was not a raid. They're already calling for us to get defunded. This guy's whining. This is what Fed boys do when they know that there might be some type of
backlash
of action coming their way as far as being defunded and, more importantly, dismantled. That's what needs to take place with these three-letter agencies. If you have a Republican congressman or senator who's only talking about defunding, they need to be speaking about dismantling and impeaching the regime. Those are the requirements moving forward from here on out. It is time to hold these individuals accountable. There are no longer any good apples at the FBI. I don't care what Sean Hannity or any of these other people have to say, oh, they're still good people. No, if there were good people, they'd be standing up against what is currently taking place and speaking out, and they are not, so they're complicit. So before we dive into today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button. If you're new here, thank you for joining me, allowing me to share some info with you. Hopefully you can share it with your friends and family. Smash that like button 1,500. If you like the content, you like the video, you like the channel, smash that super thanks as well. So let's go take a look. Coming to us from MSNBC over here, FBI spokesperson whining about the use of the word raid.
Agents, by the way, don't like the word raid. They don't like it. It sounds like it's some kind of, extrajudicial, non-legal thing. It's the execution of a search warrant. It's a court-authorized search warrant. I'm sure we're now going to be in for days of ranting and raving. Even at CPAC over the weekend, there was a congressman from Arizona who called for the defunding of the FBI before this even happened. So we're in for more of that. I'm sure they're hunkering down for that. But the word raid, they don't like it. They want to say they executed a search warrant. All of that going on. Meticulous searching. I've seen situations where...
See what they just did? MSNBC changed it in real time. It went from being a raid after he was...
to just executing a search warrant.
They changed it to FBI execute search warrant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. These people are absolutely dishonest. They sit here and they have these FBI agents, they have these CIA agents within these news organizations who sit there and push out the narrative, and they want to make sure that they're gaslighting Americans as best as possible. So it's not a raid. Of course, inflation's not inflation. A recession's not recession. A woman's not a woman. All these terms that the left continues to try to redefine these communists who are within these networks, within the deep state, within the entrenched bureaucracy of the United States. These people are absolutely the danger to our country. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, you guys can follow me on all my social media, including Odyssey and Gab. Don't forget to check me out over on Telegram as well. I will post that in the comment as a top comment, pin it, so you guys can check me out over there as well. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and of course, leave a let's go, Brand.
You already know, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate your input on the situation, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. You know what I mean? They trying to do whatever it take to get Trump out the way and shit. Now we're going to slide over to my man Mark Dice.
Attack after a year and a half of the Democrats digging for dirt to try to connect President Trump to some supposed crime that happened at the Capitol on January 6th. They found nothing. So, as I'm sure you heard, his personal residence was raided by the FBI yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. looking for stolen classified documents that he allegedly removed from the White House.
Obama got millions of documents.
First of all,
nobody says shit.
Classify anything that he wants to. Second, even if that wasn't the case, in order for him to have committed a crime of removing classified material from a secure location, he would have had to have knowingly removed it. And since his staff were the ones who packed his things and then brought the boxes to Mar-a-Lago, if there just so happens to be a classified document in one of those boxes, President Trump didn't know because he wasn't the one who put it there. And third, when rumors or accusations started swirling that he might have stolen classified material, he invited the FBI to come and look through all of the material that he brought to Mar-a-Lago just to be sure. But instead, they decided to raid his personal residence when he was out of town. He was in New York. And then they even broke into his personal safe where they found nothing. This is COINTELPRO 101. If you haven't heard of COINTELPRO, it's an old declassified FBI program that they admit was routinely involved in breaking the law in order to harass and spy on people in the civil rights movement and anti-war activists during the Vietnam War, including, of course, Martin Luther King. And like all corrupt government programs, after they get caught, they claim that they shut it down, and that's just something that they used to do, which is obviously always a lie. Of course, it's no coincidence this happened just a few hours after bogus photos were first published showing proof that Donald Trump destroyed presidential records by ripping up documents and then trying to flush them down the toilet.
Wow.
And then a staffer came in to use the bathroom afterwards and saw the little pieces floating in the toilet and took the photos as evidence. This is the same guy that used a fake document to then get a search warrant to spy on Trump's campaign and then try to smear him as a Russian agent and derail his administration for 3 years.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know.
Here's former Congressman
I don't
Ron Paul
know.
talking back
You
in
know,
1988
motherfucker.
about how the
You
FBI
know.
were up to the same tricks back then.
You know, most of our history, we didn't have those institutions. The FBI came in during the First World War. And interestingly enough, one thing that Woodrow Wilson did, he used the FBI to spy on American citizens and actually arrest them if they disagreed with his foreign policy about going to war in Europe. And isn't it interesting how recent they used it in the Vietnam era? Democrats used it there. Republicans used the FBI to spy on 100 different groups in this country, including the churches, who disagree with the policy in Central America. It almost looks like the FBI was designed to spy on Americans who might be disagreeing with policy, especially the foreign policy. So the FBI, although I don't think I can condemn everything they've ever done, because I'm sure some of the investigations and investigation of crime has been beneficial, but that could be accomplished through Justice Department within our states. We wouldn't reject that portion of it. I think the FBI has kept and continues to keep a lot of records on a lot of individuals. The CIA has only been here since 1947. Their record is lousy.
Here's a quote from a textbook called Understanding Lawyers' Ethics. This is a book that I own, by the way. This is a book that I've read. These are my yellow highlights. I didn't go to law school. I have a bachelor's degree in communication, but I have read a bunch of law books just because I find it to be a fascinating topic. It's about how some people like to abuse the legal system and what's called lawfare through selective prosecution. Quote, the first major issue of prosecutorial discretion is the decision to investigate. Justice Robert Jackson, who was a Supreme Court justice, called that the most dangerous power of the prosecutor because it enables the prosecutor to pick people he thinks he should get rather than pick the cases that need to be prosecuted. Irving Younger reflected on his own experience as a prosecutor, similarly observed that a prosecutor's power to damage or destroy another one he chooses to indict is virtually limitless. Bennett Garsham, another former prosecutor who is one of the most thoughtful commentators on prosecutors' ethics, noted that the prosecutor's decision to institute criminal charges is the broadest and least regulated power in American criminal law. When a prosecutor focuses on a person, Jackson said, it's not a question of discovering the commission of a crime and then looking for a man who has committed it. It is a question
of picking the man and then searching
the law books or putting investigators to work to pin some offense on him.
Exactly.
At that point, law enforcement becomes personal, and the real crime becomes that of being unpopular with the predominant or governing group or being attached to the wrong political
views.
I've always been under the impression that when the January 6th Kangaroo Committee wraps up their pretend investigation, that the Justice Department wouldn't charge Trump with any crimes. They're just trying to erode support so that he hopefully wouldn't run again in 2024. And then Merrick Garland, though, however, would come out and say that they did find sufficient evidence that they believe he has committed the crimes, but they're not going to indict him because it's the policy not to actually indict someone unless they believe that they can get a conviction. And then they'll say that because they would inevitably get some Trump supporters on the jury, that they would hang the jury and they would never convict, that they're not going to indict for that reason, and then just blame Trump supporters for not being able to pursue justice. And they have plenty of evidence, but it's the policy not to actually indict unless they believe they can get a conviction. On the other hand, we probably shouldn't put anything past these people at this point, and if they don't indict him for something about January 6th, then maybe one of those FBI agents slipped a little classified document into his souvenirs at Mar-a-Lago, and they'll try to get him on that. But either way, we're a collapsing empire. Financially, intellectually, morally, politically, spiritually. You can see the writing on the wall. We may limp along for another generation or two, but you can see that we are rapidly approaching the cliff. The liberal media industrial complex endorses child drag queens. Gays are adopting children. 20 million illegal aliens have invaded this country and are helping it go bankrupt and sucking off the rest of us. National divorce was trending again on Twitter last night. People are talking about secession and balkanization. And I always thought that if any states seceded from the Union, it would be Republican states. People always talk about Texas seceding. But you know what? We are America. It's the liberal states which should secede.
Exactly.
They're the ones who hate this country. They're the ones who hate all of the rights in the Bill of Rights. They're the ones who hate our history. They're the ones who hate our symbols. They're the ones who hate the very name of Washington, D.C. and the flag that represents this country. Whatever happens in the coming months and next year and a half as the 2024 election rapidly approaches, we are America. And no matter how much the liberals hate it, it's Trump's America.
Yeah, man, and unfortunately for them, he right and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna come back on the other side. Got a little bit more of this motherfucking Trump shit going on and shit, and you know we gonna move on. You already know, so don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. Hey, Trump, man, with all this fucking critical race theory and leftist lunatic shit going on and shit, do you think flushing the country down the tubes is smart?
We can't allow bad things to happen to our country, and bad things are happening to us. Perhaps like never before. You'll be seeing what goes on, and perhaps like never before.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. They may allow me back. So I walked gingerly. That ramp was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you
by the pussy.
They made that a big story, but they didn't make a Biden fall. The triple fall, I call the triple fall. I wasn't gonna fall. Dr. Fauci, who I actually got along with, he's a great promoter. Not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. Then he went into masks, and then he became a radical masker. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. They may allow me back. Zuckerberg walked into the office in front of filmers people. Congratulations, sir, why you're number one on Facebook. The day I was out, he became rather, well, I guess it's human nature. We can let our country be run by that kind of human nature. They may edit that out. They don't want to have that. They don't like that. They may have to edit that out. The Biden administration seems to be putting America last. There is nobody like us. Nobody has the people that we have. Nobody has the genius that we have. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. They may allow me back.
So we back. You already know. So now the White House is dodging them questions on Mar-a-Lago. Y'all know they got the worst press secretary. We thought Plucky Duck was the worst, but this black chick is even worse than Plucky Duck. Like, it's like, damn, you wish Plucky Duck was there. That's how bad she is and shit. It's like so fucking terrible. Plucky, shout out to you, Plucky Duck, Raggedy Ann and shit. Jim Psaki. You know what I'm saying? Because the raggedy bitch you got that replaced you, oh my God. She ain't going to get no news commentator job after she done with this shit. This shit is terrible. Like, this bitch literally can't answer shit. Y'all must have handpicked this bitch for her retardation. I'm sure of it. But, you know, that's a story for another day and shit. Let's do it. Yeah. Did you know about it in advance, Mr. President?
This administration weaponizing the Justice Department and the FBI against political opponents.
No, I'm answering the question and I'm telling you that we are not going to comment on a criminal investigation. We're not going to comment from here, from this White House.
The White House is denying the president knew
from
about
this
the
White House.
FBI
It's the
raid
only
of
White House.
President Donald
You
Trump's
stupid bitch.
Mar-a-Lago home ahead of time. But former President Trump isn't buying it, saying Biden knew all about this, just like he knew about Hunter's deals. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton joins me now. Attorney General, good morning to you. We do know that this decision to raid Trump's home went up the food chain. The question is just how far up it went. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we know that the Attorney General had to make this decision. This is such a big decision. This is a step that we've never seen the Department of Justice take, I don't think, in the history of our country. And so it definitely wouldn't surprise me if Biden himself didn't know. Certainly the people around him knew, and they certainly didn't stop it from happening and probably were very involved in making it happen.
Exactly.
Well, there's been some suggestion that the FBI could have, just so happened
This is
to have
Watergate
collected
in the
some
daytime.
documents unrelated to the National Archives and documents that could be related to January 6th during their raid. Do you think that's what this is really all about?
I don't know. I think that they are trying to find something on the president. They clearly view him as a threat to their future plans, their liberal future plans. And so whether it's January 6th or whether it's something else, the FBI and the Department of Justice are out there looking for an angle. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and there's so many questions about that search warrant. And apparently Trump's legal team could answer some of them because they apparently have a copy of the search warrant, but they're not going to make it public at this time. Why do you think that is?
I think they're just trying to figure out how they're going to deal with this. They don't have all the information that they would like to know about what the Department of Justice is doing. I'm sure there was not a lot of cooperation between the Department of Justice and the president. And so, they're holding as much information as they can so that they can make the right decisions at the right time.
There's also the FBI that didn't allow Trump's lawyers apparently in the rooms that they were searching. Using your legal experience, does that sound above board to you?
No.
I don't know that that's untypical, but this whole thing with raiding the president's house, the timing of it, the fact that he may be about to announce for president, especially when you look at it in comparison to what happened with Hillary Clinton and the information that she had on her servers and the fact that she destroyed information. You look what's going on with Hunter Biden and his father and how you don't see either of them ever raided, and yet here we are with President Trump getting ready potentially to announce for president, and suddenly
gets raided.
The FBI and the Department of Justice are all over him. It seems very political, and it's, in my opinion, extremely concerning because now you have a government trying to affect the political environment where, in my opinion, that should be the people, not the federal government, not law enforcement.
It's a double standard that's hard to ignore. Also, Attorney General, I want to get you on this. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is firing back at the governor of your state, Greg Abbott, for sending migrant buses to the Big Apple. And now Adams says he might send a bus of his own to Texas. Listen here.
I am deeply contemplating taking a busload of New Yorkers to go to Texas and do some good old-fashioned door knocking because we have to, for the good of America, we have to get him out of office.
Sir,
wow.
Your response to that?
Look, he's free. This is a free country, so he's certainly free to try to come down and influence Texas politics.
A mayor versus a governor.
He's not going to have a lot of impact. Governor Abbott's done a great job. He's been the governor for almost 8 years, and I think he'll be reelected overwhelmingly.
30 seconds more to you on this last one. Remain in Mexico policy officially over. How much of an impact will this have on the southern border?
That's a dramatic impact. That was a very effective policy by the Trump administration. It brought the numbers down in a major way, and now with the Biden administration letting that go, it's having a dramatic impact. You can see it in the numbers from when Trump was in office and to where we are now. And obviously, the Biden administration wants illegal immigration, and they're working with the cartels hand in hand to make sure it happens.
Make sure they fucking get it. They gon' fucking get it, bro. You mean this shit is crazy, dog? You know what I mean? The shit is just bugged out and shit. Now we got some of my man Greg Gutfeld and shit coming up. You know what I mean? We gonna get his take and the panel's take on how they feel about the Trump raid and shit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's a political stunt like a motherfucker. And don't nobody really want to, talk about this and shit. That's the sad part, is the fact that we watching this shit happen in live time and we're doing nothing about it. We don't give zero fucks about what's happening and shit. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas is literally twiddling y'all fucking thumbs and... this is the reward we gonna get. We gonna get a whole bunch of nothing. And I hope y'all happy and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because, when you're starving, let me know how you feel about your vote. You know what I'm saying? How did you feel about your 2020 vote? Did it really pay off? You know what I'm saying? Now you as broke as you ever fucking been. You broker than when fucking Obama was in fucking office and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all niggas is just, y'all lunching and shit. Y'all like, I mean, at least we ain't got no mean tweets. Pussies. Fucking pussies, man.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Well, it's official. So, with the help of the FBI, the Democratic Party just endorsed Donald Trump for President of the United States. Well, hold on. But I wonder if the president will profoundly accept the nomination for President of the United States.
I profoundly accept this nomination for President of the United States.
It's happening. Yeah, that raid was a real smart move. You want to take a larger-than-life character and make him even larger? You raid his frickin' house. Basically, they just gave Popeye a 55-ounce can of spinach. They just gave Hunter Biden a brand new crack pipe and a high-speed internet access.
Yeah.
They just gave me a book of 1001 poop jokes. Because the raid not only angers Republicans, it energizes them, and it energizes Trump. And unlike all the other shows, we actually have tape of the raid.
Wow.
Now, the raid is it's wrong, but you got to keep your sense of humor on this for a reason. Part of the strategy of the raid is to get you to react so that they can then cover your anger as danger.
Mm-hmm.
The press has already sounded the alarm over the rage on pro-Trump message boards. They're ready to go, they say, as if you're going to commit acts of violence. So don't get mad. Instead, sympathize. The Dems want Trump back, and for good reason. They can't survive without him. They are drowning, and he is their oxygen. They're just too boring and uninspiring. If Trump's filet mignon, Democrats are warm tapioca.
Oh, like
maybe it's because their
Biden brains.
Leaders' brains are warm tapioca.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do anything to keep the spotlight off him. I mean, can you blame them? This guy gets into fights with his own clothes. Roll it, Pedro.
Oh, man. Hey, I'm trying to put on this jacket. Okay, yep. Look over there. Yeah, okay, I'm looking over there. Okay. Bitch. Can you help me put on this jacket? Bitch. Come help me put on this jacket, bitch. Thanks, bitch. Thanks, Jill. Thank you, Jill. Is that my pocket? That's my pocket. That's my pocket. Okay. That's the, okay, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I got my jacket. Yeah. Oh, there go my shades. Oh, no. Oh, jeez.
Give him time. He'll remember where the arms go someday. Thankfully, it was a jacket and not his pants. But it's also kind of scary when it takes mere seconds for Joe to forget that he just shook someone's hand.
Yo, the nigga shakes Chuck Schumer's hand, shake his hand, stick his hand back out like, yeah, give me another one.
Now our great speaker, our partner who...
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. My God, no wonder they hide him like a cold sore at a kissing booth. What gives, Joe?
Leave me alone. I like ice cream. Come on, man.
Yeah, old ass dude in the old folks home.
You got a chocolate chip?
Of course, while much of the country will be pissed off over the raid, the left embraced the news like it was a box of Kleenex at a sperm bank.
Tomorrow is the day when you're going to want to buy the physical copy of the newspaper. You're going to want to buy it and fold it carefully.
No one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United States.
This is a night where you are going to remember where you were.
He also has the lying advantage. The government's not going to lie, but Donald Trump will lie profusely.
Wow.
The fact that people, weak people, are running around going, oh, what are we going to do? They're saying ugly things on Fox News. Like, what do you expect? Like, this guy's going to be brought to justice. He's broken the law. Everybody knows that.
Ah, well, hip hip hooray for tyranny. And this from people who do nothing but whine about how our democracy is under assault. What absolute jerk-offs. So if the raid is about classified documents, then you didn't need a raid at all.
Nope.
But like Biden's son, they also know what makes for exciting video. And as Andy McCarthy points out in the New York Post, it's likely the White House is pressuring the Justice Department to link Trump criminally to January 6th. Sadly, the FBI seems like another institution polluted by politics. Except unlike college lefties, they punish you with arrests, not by spelling your name wrong on your latte. They investigate some people, but not others. I could go through the list, but you've heard it. At least on this network you have. If they were any deeper in the swamp, they'd have alligators for baby mamas. That's disgusting. And especially after pushing the Russian collusion hoax, how can you give them a pass on this now? I mean, they show up at the house, they go through all of his stuff, including his safe, which is why I don't have a safe. I keep everything in between my mattress and box spring. Thank God that doll is easy to inflate. Some levity. But it seems like all of our institutions are imploding like a Twix bar in Stacey Abrams' back pocket. Maybe it's due to wokeism, anti-Trumpism, or plain old elitism. It's a far cry from the good old days when they knew to keep politics at bay. And if they don't come out with one major smoking gun from that raid, and I mean major, like a video of Trump French kissing Putin, or Don Jr. with Pelosi in a headlock as Eric rifles through a purse, then you're going to have a country that's more pissed off than R. Kelly after 2 quarts of Snapple. It's disgusting. This isn't a policy decision. This is a former president's house being raided. Can you imagine doing this to Obama or Biden in a few years, or Hillary? Come to think of it, they should raid her place in Chappaqua just to find evidence if Bill's ever been there. We know he likes to leave DNA around.
Wow.
Ooh, cross the line. The FBI, it seems, thinks they're the country. And they're not. They're not even a third world country, despite their banana republic antics. America right now is a beautiful car whose steering keeps pulling to the left. And the engine light has come on for the 10th time, and they've run out of electrical tape to hide it. We know there's a problem under the hood. It's all these supposedly neutral institutions having now chosen a team. It would cost us too much to get a whole new car, but we should at least replace the drivetrain in a couple of months. Last night's raid was just another example in a pattern of one-way persecution, where they pay you a visit, and it's up to you to prove your innocence. It's the same mentality with the IRS agents. Hey, if you don't cheat, you have nothing to hide. So who will they go for next? Maybe you, maybe me. All I know is in preparation for the raid, I've moved my collection of adult-oriented Beanie Babies out of the house. Some people wouldn't understand.
Yeah, man, shit is just fucking crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And normally we listen to, you know, them discuss what's going on, but not today. Not today. I'm getting out of here on time and shit. And I got a lot more to go. But Steve Bannon on InfoWars, they cannot stop the Great Awakening, which is so true. Let's do it.
And for all of Trump's flaws, and Trump is very flawed, as you are and I am, he's a very imperfect instrument, but he puts you in the room and gives you a voice. Not in the room, not in the deal. Trump puts you in the room. And what you're seeing now, that they are desperate and they're nervous and they understand they're losing because there's a great awakening going on. People, no matter how much they try to deplatform you or War Room or all these other great podcast sites and people doing these forums and talking to each other and interconnecting, no matter if you're off of Twitter, you're off of YouTube, you're off of Facebook, the content's getting out there. There's a great awakening, right? And they can't stop that. No one's ever been able to stop the American people when the American people in the righteous indignation knows the direction it wants to go. Couldn't stop us in the Revolution, the Civil War, World War II, and the Great Depression. Or the Cold War, unstoppable. And that's what they fear now because they understand that the jig is up, right, on the administrative state as an apparatus, the central apparatus for the World Economic Forum, what I call the Party of Davos apparatus to control everything. Your trial would not have been a global media event, sir, if they were not desperate to destroy certain people in this movement. They made your trial in a small court in Texas a international global main event with massive millions of page views and traffic, stories on The Guardian, stories on the front page of the Times of London, all throughout the world. Why? They're absolutely desperate, and they know what they need to do today. They need to decapitate the leadership, and that's what they're trying to do. And they're going to pull. Nothing is beyond these people. Nothing is beyond these people. That's why you always have to be on guard, and you have to keep your sense about you, and do not let them goad you into any action, which they will try to do, to make sure that you cross any line that then they can jump on you and then use against you to destroy you.
Yeah, absolutely true, man. You know, unfortunately, this is how it's happening and shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try and fucking wrap their minds around it, but it's kind of
corrupt establishment is doing
simple
today
and plain.
Is all about preserving their power and control over the American people. They want to damage you in any form, but they really want to damage me so I can no longer go back to work for you. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Never before in the history of our republic has the Federal Bureau of Investigations raided the private residence of a former president. That is exactly what happened a few minutes ago. What does it mean? Number one, it is final, unequivocal proof to all Americans, whoever you voted for, that the FBI is now the political police arm of the Democrat Party and this administration. Not of the old man in the White House, who is not compos mentis, but of the radicals and the ideologues that have taken over the Democrat Party. Mm-hmm. Secondly, important to you, if they can do this to the President of the United States, the man who won 74 million votes, they can do it to you, to anyone. And lastly, most important of all, it means that they have failed. They have tried everything else. 2 impeachments, a January 6th committee, spurious charges, allegations in New York, and they have failed to stop President Trump. They are desperate because they have failed. He is running. But rest assured, this act by the FBI, by Merrick Garland, the DOJ, and the White House that had to approve all of it, is a declaration of war against peaceful American citizens. 74 million of them. This is not America. Stay strong, my friends. God bless.
If you remember back in 2016, when right before he got elected, I was in Washington, D.C. I was at a couple different social events, and I heard people talking. They said the Democrats want this guy so bad that they wouldn't put assassination behind it. And I'm going to tell you something. They've tried impeachment. They've tried another impeachment. They've tried one investigation after another. This is about one thing. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not into conspiracies. I'm not into anti-government rhetoric. This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
That's the former New York Police Commissioner, Bernard Kerik, a very serious, smart man, another very serious, smart man. If anybody was Trump's brain, it was Stephen K. Bannon helping lead the restoration of this republic. And he joins us for the balance of the hour, warroom.com. Don't need to go to his naval intelligence service or what he did on Wall Street or what he did in Hollywood or what he did for the country. He joins us now, a man who needs no introduction, a true patriot who they're trying to make a political prisoner, simply for standing up for the sovereignty of the president and the executive branch. Steve, we could talk about so many facets of this, but for me, it's the deep state desperate, trying to finish their coup, trying to secure the last stolen elections so they can steal the midterm and the general elections in 2 years. This, to me, is a sign of major desperation, and they're trying to make you a political prisoner right now. I am very honored to be in the same company with you, being persecuted as well. Thank you, Stephen Bannon.
No, Alex, I think you've nailed it. What people are not talking about enough is that this is desperation. They've tried everything else. Look, you see what they're doing to you. The world sees what they're doing to you right now. They've been doing it to Trump, and this is a desperate move to send a bunch of jackboot. Look, the FBI is now a new American Gestapo. All the great legacy they had of anti-communism and what they did for the good of this country over many decades.
It's being flushed down the fucking toilet.
Thrown in the trash heap over the last 10, 20 years. And this is outrageous to desecrate one of the most iconic buildings in this country, much less a presidential residence, and to do it the way they did it with, up armored, with weapons drawn, cracking the safe, all this drama to try to show a point. It's an act of desperation. Here's why, Alex. They checked the numbers. They realized this fiasco of spending, the spending and tax orgy that just passed means nothing to the people in this country. The polling's horrible. They're about to get the tables run on them by MAGA in less than 90 days. We will take over. Donald Trump will announce and be the next president. And so they're pulling out all stops. And look, you said it. Bernie Kerik's a very serious guy. He's not a guy who's into conspiracies. He's a very straightforward former police commissioner. And I agree. I do not think it's beyond this administrative state and their deep state apparatus to actually try to work on the assassination of President Trump. I think everything's on the table. I think his security ought to be at the highest it's ever been. And honestly, I think he ought to, and I think he should have flown down to Mar-a-Lago this morning, walked out there at noon today, and said, "Hey, I'm running for president of the United States. Suck on that."
Well, that was my next question. As his former top advisor, what should Trump be doing right now?
I think what he should do is action, action, action. I don't think there should be any more of the tweets, no more of the Truth Social stuff. That's all nice. They put out a video last night. No more videos. We're beyond that. They're trying to not just put you in bankruptcy. They're trying to liquidate InfoWars, which is obviously one of the major news sources out there for the MAGA movement. They're trying to liquidate InfoWars. They're putting Peter Navarro in chains like a common felon. What they did to President Trump is outrageous. Look, you're playing it right now. I think it's a beautiful film, and I appreciate the people that made it. We're beyond that.
I agree. We need to see the General George Washington 2.0 in the field, taking it to him.
He needs to get to Mar-a-Lago, the exact place that they desecrated, because it was a desecration. They did it on purpose. They understand how Mar-a-Lago resonates to not just MAGA, but to the American people. One of the great buildings in this country. And we've had so many iconic moments there with President Xi and Abe, who just passed away. The moment of standing up to the North Koreans on their missile shoots. So many important things happened there. To go and desecrate it the way they did, particularly over this administrative issue with the National Archives. They're clearly there, as you know, Alex, on a fishing expedition or on a planning expedition. I wouldn't put it past them to have planned stuff. This is a criminal. The FBI and the DOJ are essentially lawless criminal organizations.
That's key. Let's start over there, because you're laying out a lot of key things second by second. Exactly. How do we know 100 agents in there with their long history of planning things didn't plant something classified?
You're absolutely right. 100 guys, or how many guys they had, they're all over the building all at one time. You had a few Secret Service people there. I think Eric Trump and a few administrative people were there. But you don't know. You got to be watching them the entire time, as you know. I mean, we got swatted a couple of weeks ago, and when guys go through to do their thing, you got to keep the hairy eyeball on them. I don't think it's anything beyond any group that would go to a magistrate, not the federal judge in charge of this, but go to a magistrate who, oh, by the way, has deep relationships with Epstein and other nefarious characters. To go to him, to go to a magistrate, not even a real federal judge, but a federal magistrate, to get him to sign off on this, and then to go in there like they did, completely lawless.
But what you did is so key. Planting, they don't even need to plant it there. They hauled off dozens of boxes. God knows, if we don't think leftist bureaucrats are going to plant something, we're crazy. They just lied last week and said they had my phone. CNN reported 2 hours ago they do not have my phone. Yeah, I know they don't. They just made that up, Steve. I mean, they'll make anything up.
You said that a couple times. You said it on our show. I'm glad the fake news is finally catching up with. No, they could put in an SITK document in the middle of it and say, oh, this was something, some war plan against North Korea. They could do anything. They could plant things. They could put bugs. I think the whole thing's got to be swept, double swept.
Yeah, triple swept. I was thinking the same thing.
American Gestapo. And it hurts me to say this as a kid growing up as an Irish Catholic kid in Richmond. There's so many, individuals, the Irish Catholics who were, or the mix who were FBI agents. And so it hurts me to say this. And I know there's a lot of great whistleblowers there, but
on some real shit, they probably just wanted the layout of Mar-a-Lago and shit so they can map it. And then fucking, run an op on that joint.
The agencies turned to the new American Gestapo.
All right, Steve Bannon, look.
Shit crazy and shit. If you want to watch that whole thing, you can slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com. Go watch it for yourself. But now, for a change of pace and shit, expect insurance companies to sue vaccine manufacturers to cover payouts for explosion of early unexpected mortality claims. Oh, so people are dying early and other people are claiming the money on their life? Oh.
Everybody knows, too.
Yeah, man, dog, y'all know what the fuck it is, though. You feel me?
They just think they'll kill a bunch of us and test and see if we wake up. And now they want Homeland Security to make us take shots. The U.S. is the only country in the world that authorized 6-month-olds and up to take the damn shot. I mean, this is crazy. How will they kill Americans? Have a virus release, have a scare, have forced inoculations, and kill people.
Literally.
And this is only the beta test. Can they kill 3-4% of us? If we put up with this, the sky is the limit.
Exactly.
In Taiwan, the number of people dying after the jibby jab is exceeding the number of deaths from the virus itself. Expect insurance companies to sue vaccine manufacturers to cover payouts for explosion of early unexpected mortality claims. Ohio medical student dies suddenly due to heart issue during 3-day bike ride for cancer research. There's hundreds of these a day. This incredible clip. Listen to this. This is why a pharmacist are not warning people about what the vaccines are doing.
Exactly. The jab.
Some report getting monkeypox, which we've had scientists on about, after receiving first dose of vaccine, WCVB. Polio is spreading in Britain. For the first time in 40 years, health officials launch urgent jab rollout.
mRNA, dog.
Think about that. So let's do this. Let's air the Taiwan clip, the U.S. clip, and then let's air the lady playing the clip of the pharmacist talking about what happened to this child that's in the hospital with a swollen heart. I mean, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
This is going on.
Yep.
This is real. And we have a bureaucracy, not just cutting off our gas pipelines, not just opening up our borders, not just shipping in fentanyl, not just teaching drag queen pedophile time.
But shooting you up with poison.
Not just defunding the police, not just George Soros taking over the district attorneys, not just
taking your guns
and war, but killing us with shots. It's total war.
Yeah, man, and I'm gonna let him, go ham for a little bit longer because, bruh, motherfuckers need to really understand what the fuck is going on. Y'all don't get it, but I get it.
All right. I'll just be completely honest with viewers and listeners right now. I feel ashamed of myself, and I feel like a pile of crap when I think about the fact, not all the time, but I feel like a pile of crap right now, that we've been diverted by their fake lawsuits against us and by Mar-a-Lago raids and by all this stuff that is important on the surface but not important in the aggregate, because these shots don't work. They're genetic therapies.
Yep.
And they're causing mass death according to dozens of major insurance companies and news reports. And so they're just normalizing mass death.
And now it's growing structures in your cardiovascular system. So your veins is being filled up with these fucking tissue-like structures and shit. And y'all niggas is like, what the fuck? Y'all having blood clots, tumors, all this shit after taking the shot. What's the common denominator? Y'all took the shot. You know what I'm saying? With the motherfuckers that didn't take the shot, we chilling. We still dying of natural causes. You know what I'm saying? Or bullets. Or stabbings, or bricks, or baseball bats and shit, cars, airplane crashes, shit like that. But, for the most part, we living. Niggas that took the shot done been to the hospital 5, 6, 7, 8 times for different fucking reasons and shit. You know what I mean? The shit is just crazy.
And so I pledge this to you. Yeah, it's important they had a kangaroo trial for us. Yeah, it's important the judge told the jury I was guilty. Yeah, all that's unprecedented and dangerous. But killing a bunch of little kids and people with heart attacks and blood clots is even bigger. And so they want to tie us down with all this garbage and distract us from our main mission, exposing their biomedical attack on humanity.
Yep.
So we're going to air these two reports back to back. One is out of the local U.S. news. One is out of Taiwan about what these shots are doing in live time. And we reported this, obviously, the insurance numbers started coming out a year ago, but it's all confirmed now. Let that sink in. They know it doesn't work to protect from a virus. They know it messes up your blood. They know it causes strokes, heart attacks, heart swelling, cancer, infertility, everything else. And they're doing it. And it was in the October 2020 document from the CDC that they predicted this would happen.
Seizures.
Let that sink in long.
Neurological disorders.
What type of maniacs are we dealing with here? They just think they'll kill a bunch of us and test and see if we wake up. And now they want Homeland Security to make us take shots. The U.S. is the only country in the world that authorized 6-month-olds and up to take the damn shot. I mean, this is crazy. How will they kill Americans? Have a virus release, have a scare, have forced inoculations, and kill people. And this is only the beta test. Can they kill 3-4% of us? If we put up with this, the sky is the limit.
Mm-hmm. You think Bill Gates not going to get to the sky?
Dying after the jibby jab is exceeding the number of deaths from the virus itself. Expect insurance companies to sue vaccine manufacturers to cover payouts for explosion of early unexpected mortality claims. Ohio medical student dies suddenly due to heart issue during 3-day bike ride for cancer research. There's hundreds of these a day. This incredible clip. Listen to this. This is why a pharmacist are not warning people about
And parents
what the
about the
vaccines
jab
are doing.
Right.
Some report getting monkeypox, which we've had scientists on about, after receiving first dose of vaccine, WCVB. Polio is spreading in Britain. For the first time in 40 years, health officials launch urgent jab rollout. Think about that. So let's do this. Let's air the Taiwan clip, the U.S. clip, and then let's air the lady playing the clip of the pharmacist talking about what happened to this child that's in the hospital with a swollen heart. I mean, this is happening. This is going on. This is real. And we have a bureaucracy, not just cutting off our gas pipelines, not just opening up our borders, not just shipping in fentanyl, not just teaching drag queen pedophile time, not just devaluing the currency, not just defunding the police, not just George Soros taking over the district attorneys, not just lawless crime and war, but killing us with shots. It's total war. They are attacking us at every level, every day. And the longer we don't admit this, the worse it's going to get. Let's play these reports back to back, and we'll be back.
Taiwan, the number of people dying after their COVID vaccination is exceeding the number of deaths from the virus itself. Taiwan's health authorities say that as of Monday, deaths after vaccination reached 865, while deaths from the virus are at 845. Vaccines currently offered in Taiwan include AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech, and Taiwan's own vaccine, Medigen. Out of the 865 deaths after vaccination, over 600 were from AstraZeneca and nearly 200 deaths after Moderna shot.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds. Along with that, there's also been an increase in certain medical diagnoses, such as miscarriages and Bell's palsy. Here to give us her take on the new data and what she believes could be causing the rise in numbers is emergency medicine and disaster specialist Dr. Kelly Victory. Dr. Victory, good morning. Great to talk to you as always.
Good morning, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we want to make sure that anytime we talk, we want to make sure the information that we have is accurate. So let's start this interview by telling us, I've seen your correspondence here, what is the source of the information that you're about to present?
Well, this information became available to me or on my radar last week following a hearing with Senator Ron Johnson, who was looking at sort of what he calls a second opinion on the entire response to the COVID pandemic. The medical data was released by 3 career military physicians who got the information from the military database that collects what we call ICD codes, which are the diagnosis codes. And these physicians had a feeling, they believed based on their own observation, that they were seeing a significant uptick in certain conditions. So they actually went back and culled the database from the military on certain conditions over a 5-year period, from 2016 through 2020, notably containing 1 year, 2020, of the full-blown pandemic. So they looked at 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20 at the prevalence of certain conditions, including things like heart attack, blood clots to the lung, miscarriages, those sorts of things. And they compared it to the incidence of those same things in the calendar year 2021. And saw an alarming increase in certain things. For example, they saw a 270% increase in myocardial infarction in 2021, a 300% increase in incidence of Bell's palsy and of certain neurologic complaints, a 470% increase in pulmonary embolisms.
This is a conversation of a dad.
Yeah, hi. Are you a pharmacist?
Yes, how can I help?
Yeah, hey, I've got a question. My wife, against my wishes, brought my 7-year-old son in there a few days ago for a COVID jab, and he's now in the hospital with myocarditis. And I was obviously not very happy with you guys or with my wife. She told me that she was not told that was a potential side effect.
Why?
So why wouldn't you have told her that?
Okay,
research, it's common. In the U.S., there's tens of thousands of them reported at the CDC site. So why are you not telling parents this?
Were you told? You got the jab? Were you told?
Nope.
They don't want to get their child vaccinated. Yeah, so you don't want to scare the parents with something that is actually happening. That's happened to my kid. Are you out of your mind? You don't want to scare them. You need to give them the right information so they can make a proper decision. What is wrong with you? You don't want to scare them. I'm recording this conversation as well, and this is going to a lawyer next. Thank you for admitting that. So why don't you tell them? When someone comes in there and says, hey, what can go wrong? What do you say? Sore arm? Have you seen the amount of dead people? Have you seen it?
We all have.
Before giving consent to give... She asked what the side effects are.
Did she ask? I'm not sure because I wasn't there.
It doesn't matter. You're supposed to tell people this can happen. You know, my kid. So you know what the prognosis is? You know what it is? Possible death within 5 years. 20% of people with myocarditis die. It is a permanent damaged heart. It is not temporary. He's in a heart transplant because of you. Because you didn't want to scare her.
Yeah, man, because she didn't want to scare her. Now his fucking son about to die with myocarditis and shit. You know what I mean? We're going to check out a Russell Brand interview and shit about Alex Jones and the case that they just opened up on him and how they're trying to cancel him and shit. We're only going to check out a little bit. Let's check it. Yeah.
Well, folks, I've wanted to get him on for a long time. Russell Brand, who is a comedian, best-selling author, actor, TV host, you name it, who has been popular for many years, but he's really a sensation now. The whole office today, when they found out he was coming on, got really excited. We have a lot of big guests on. And what's exciting about this is that Russell Brand is outside the box, and he's getting people to think. And obviously it went viral all over the world a few months ago when he confronted kind of the talking heads that are on the mainstream media MSNBC channel with Mika Brzezinski. And so Russell Brand, he's doing his worldwide tour right now, joins us. Russell, thanks for giving us some time.
Alex, it's a privilege to be on your show. Thank you.
No, it's a privilege to have you here. What's the best site for people to visit to find out about the tour? Is it russellbrand.tv?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thanks.
You bet. Wow. So, bottom line, what is front and center most important to you right now that's happening in the world?
I think the thing that is most important to me is the thing that I'm talking about in my show. It's the cultural narratives that we are told, the way that we are presented with information, the way that meaning is designated, the significance that is given to certain issues and not to others, and the light in which stories are told. So I think that could obviously comprise Edward Snowden, or it could comprise Syria, it could comprise more broadly the manufacture of consent or the manipulation of the consciousness of civilization through a conglomeration of government, big business, and media.
Coming into this interview, we played a clip when you were 2013. On MSNBC, and that really struck a chord with people when you just laughed at their narcissism and said, you don't talk about anything real. You're basically a bunch of peacocks up here. What was it like behind the scenes? And it seemed like you were clashing with them, and it really captured people's imagination. What happened there? Because you were in the middle of it.
Well, I mean, it's quite typical when you go on those type of TV shows that there's a particular frequency or pitch to the interview. There is a normal manner of speaking. Not only the type of topics that are discussed, but the kind of banal, slightly shrill tone. The information is predicated on celebrity and gossip and what I would call low-frequency data, low-vibration information. So it was like that. So it's like that when you go on anything on mainstream television. Those programs all sound the same, people all look the same, they all talk in the same way. And it was that kind of atmosphere. The only difference is that the impoliteness was at such an extreme level that it gave me an opportunity to point out some of that stuff, which I wouldn't typically do because it sometimes doesn't seem appropriate to tell people that what they're doing is pointless or silly.
I want to get into world events, your tour that's so popular that I hope to see when you come to Austin in a few weeks here in Texas. But just getting back to that, they genuinely seemed extremely uncomfortable, but the women also seemed very sexually excited and were not faking it. I mean, I could tell that somehow you absolutely broke the spell of their self-centered, petty narcissism. And I'm not kissing your butt. I mean, it really happened. That's a magic clip from my perspective.
You've become nervous. Why are you nervous? Really? You're a powerful woman. You've got a lovely job. What seems to be the trouble?
I don't know.
You've got a hair like Princess Diana.
Oh, wow.
Is this what you all do for a living?
Yes.
We're going to be talking about the situation with Edward Snowden. This whistleblower, is it good, what he's done for America, or are our secrets being jeopardised by his intentions? We're going to be talking about that.
Why do you think you shook him up so bad?
I don't know. I'm a bit confused by it because I just went on there and did what I normally do, is just be polite, and then if I point out something that's idiosyncratic or weird, I observe that. But don't you think, Alex, that sort of you deal with so much duplicity, whether in a situation where you're in an interview on the TV or on the radio, or if you're making a purchase in a shop, sometimes we lose our authenticity, our ability to be human and truthful with one another. So I think if you interact in a very human and truthful way, then that can be very disruptive. I think it's not like that there are certain individuals that are good and certain individuals that are bad. I know myself that, I work in films and I've worked a lot in media, so I must be culpable as well for propagating these ideas and supporting them in my own way. And on a bad day, like just now, I arrived at Seattle Airport and there were people that wanted autographs, and they were the kind of people that sell the photographs on afterwards, for eBay, they don't want them for themselves, they want them to sell on eBay. And I couldn't be bothered to sign them. I just didn't feel like doing it, and that's not the absolute best aspect of me as a person. The person I aspire to be will always sign everything for everyone, so I'm capable in myself of being selfish, egocentric, and self-obsessed and self-centered. But I think it's more of a problem when you have a massive machine that conducts consciousness and orchestrates the way that we think en masse, that has a set of priorities and an agenda that is making people in huge numbers think in a selfish, insular, atomized, apathetic, and impotent way.
You already know. If you want to check out that whole thing, you can slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com. The name of that one is called Watch Russell Brand Say the Establishment Lies Created the Need for Alex Jones Types. You know what I'm saying? I wish we could have got there, but we're running short on time. So we're going to see what's happening in Germany, and then we're going to get back to the wokies. Fucking, my man was just talking about it and shit. So let's slide over to Paul Joseph Watson. What's happening in Germany? Strange happenings in Germany.
Germany doesn't exactly have an innocent history when it comes to encouraging the population to spy on each other, does it? At its height, the East German Stasi had 175,000 informants on its books, one for every 100 people. They kept files on 6 million East German citizens, 1/3 of the entire population. So members of the Green Party in Germany have been thinking, why not bring that back? Great idea. German Greens Minister wants to establish centres for neighbours to report each other for political incorrectness. Josephine Paul, the Minister for Children, Youth, Family Equality, Refugees and Integration of North Rhine-Westphalia for the Greens, at a taxpayer expense of €140,000 for each facility, wants to set up 4 reporting centres where people can anonymously report other people who are behaving politically incorrect through hotlines. For example, incidents hostile to homosexuals, migrants, Muslims, blacks and Roma are to be reported, even those that are not criminal. Gee, what could possibly go wrong? A hard leftist and other grievance activists going to completely abuse this Stasi-style PC hotline to frame their political adversaries for wrong things.
Of course
Surely not. Bear in mind, this is the German Green Party, the same party Party, whose own members wanted to remove the word German from their own manifesto because they were worried it might be politically incorrect to call a German political party in Germany German. Oh no, the absolute horror. If the Greens are so ashamed of Germany, asked one opposition politician, why do they want to govern Germany? German Green Party also recently released a PR campaign celebrating its future vision for the country. Posters for the campaign, however, betrayed one glaring absence. See if you can figure out what it is. Given that the population of Germany is 87% white, the German Greens are no small fry fringe party. They currently hold 118 of 736 seats in the Bundestag, after winning 14.8% of the vote in the 2021 election. They're now the third largest of 6 parliamentary groups, and given notorious problems associated with the country's increasing diversity, the Greens are also keen for those who dare talk candidly about what is actually happening in Germany to be reported to the local Stasi Wrongthink Bureau for their politically incorrect thought crimes.
Wow. And now we have an ex-feminist exposing the real agenda behind the movement. This is going to take us home. Let's do it. My man,
this young lady talking about how she escaped feminism and why. Here it is.
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity.
Exactly.
Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core.
You need to defend your...
Yeah, man. Like, y'all niggas ain't know already? They've been taking your kids out of your fucking possession for the longest and shit. And every time they get a chance, they do it some more. Give me some more. You know what I'm saying? That's just what the situation is, man.
Welcome back, folks. This is the American Journal. Opening up phone lines right now. The number to dial is 1-877-789-2539. And I want to go to new callers today. If you've called and been on in the last month or so, just hang out for a minute. I would love to get to new callers. If you want to call, maybe I'll get to you, but I'm going to go to new callers first, names I don't recognize. So if you've never called in before, or you've called in and been on hold and weren't able to get through, now's the time to call because we'll get you on air as quick as possible. The number to dial, 1-877-789-2539. That's 1-877-789-2539.
And don't try that fake name stuff with us either.
Yeah, don't try the fake name stuff with us.
We know who you are.
CJ, our resident mole, our resident
voices,
globalist,
we know your numbers,
agent will recognize your voice and stop you.
We even know what you're gonna say.
See, I don't know. Are you saying that on air? We need a light. I'm telling you, we need a light. Okay, you were saying that. Yes, we do know what you're gonna say. It's funny. People are like, well, what do they say to you in your ear? It's like all sorts of nonsense. I don't know. All sorts of stuff. Sometimes they're just insulting Anthony Fauci
in my ear. Stuff that we can't say on air.
Yeah, stuff you can't. Stuff I can't say.
If you ever see Harrison laugh for no reason,
it's because
that's why.
Yeah, they're saying objectionable jokes in my ear and I can't repeat them. We should have like a subscription service where you get to hear all of the, like NASCAR. You go to a NASCAR race and you get the thing where you can hear all the teams' radio conversations.
Subscribe to our Substack.
Subscribe to our Substack, exactly. Oh man, I have not done my Substack since I got back from vacation. Thank you for reminding me. All right, I'm gonna go to a video now that just got posted on Twitter. It's a TikTok video, and again, it's almost like I feel like we have a responsibility in InfoWars to go past where the culture is now, because we're always on the forefront. We're always leading the charge in these sorts of things. So, it almost feels like we're retrogressing, like we're going backwards when I talk about like George Soros is a Nazi or feminism is bad for women. Like, we've covered all of this. We should be moving on and talking about the AI takeover and the transhuman agenda and the New World Order corporate government that's being installed. And we do talk about that stuff. But Sometimes you get a video of somebody who's just explaining a basic concept that people still need to wrap their minds around, that a lot of people out there, because we're skewed here. We're talking to an audience that's well-informed, that understands what's happening, that values, our culture and our heritage and sees the attacks against it for what they are. But at the same time, we can't just be preaching to the choir. We have to be reaching out to other people. And I hope that some of these simple messages get through to people and just lets them know that it's not that they are being told a lie here or a lie there, but that their entire perception of reality is so altered by people who despise them that it's completely unrecognizable to those of us with our eyes open and our brains awake. So I want to go to this video here, covering some well-tread ground, but doing it in a very good way that I think can break through to people that are still under the illusion, still in that hypnotic state of believing just anything that the left ever says. So let's go down to this young lady talking about how she escaped feminism and why. Here it is.
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core. Feminism is defined as the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. But in the West, I must ask, what rights do men have that women don't? Modern feminists are convincing women that hookup culture, using hormonal birth control, and not shaving is liberation. That toxic masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder, and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts, and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's all fucking true. I'm gonna come back on the other side, close this out and shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. Hey, George, what's your perception on the reality of this world?
Now, you see, when your identity is defined by society, you cannot resist it. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the resources to understand that something's being put over on you. You cannot but help believe the definition of you as a free agent. But you believe yourself to be a free agent as a result of not being free. That is to say, of being hopelessly unable to resist society's identification of you.
There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people. White collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Wake the fuck up, people. Should have final warning. I want to say thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for coming through, hanging with your boy and shit. Thanks for being willing to learn something and shit, man. I know it's not easy digesting all this shit sometime and shit, but we need it. You got to make it part of your balanced breakfast or your balanced dinner or whatever the fuck you get. Man, you need to be informed about what the fuck is going on. You see that shit? You mean that craziness happened with the president and shit? Don't think you exempt from that shit. Because it's illegal to go after a fucking president and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they doing what the fuck they want. They setting new precedents. You know what I'm saying? This shit is fucking crazy, bro. You know what I mean? You better watch your fucking back. You better stay on fucking point. You know what I mean? You better get your kids out the way. Don't be fooled by that Black Lives Matter fucking fake ass woke shit. You know what I mean? Don't be a fake ass wokey. You know what I'm saying? Awaken yourself. You know what I mean? Be real with yourself. You know what I mean? Stop playing with yourself. And I don't mean physically. I mean like literally. Well, I mean you probably need to stop doing that shit too. But some of y'all single and shit, so I ain't gonna judge you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just fucking crazy, man. It's just crazy, man. You know what I mean? Y'all sitting around twiddling your thumbs, thinking that your turn not coming. Your turn is fucking coming, dog. You know what I'm saying? You think because you're not speaking out, you off the radar? No, dog. They know who you're affiliated with. They know who you call, text. They know who you associate with. They know what you said. They've been listening to us for years. Obama phones was listening devices. Y'all like, oh, I got a free phone. No, the fuck you didn't. You just got a fucking electronic leash. Crazy shit, man. But it's your boy, Mr. P.I. coming at you, bringing you that civilian talk, my nigga. And we about to get up out of this bitch, this bitch, this bitch, this bitch. I mean, it's been a long day. Yeah, I see you niggas in the way. And everybody know that Mr. P.I. be the shit. So who you with? Man, I want to say thanks again, man. Thanks for coming through, fucking with your boy. And keep your fucking head up. Keep doing your thing. Keep letting it hang and swing and shit, man. Pray. Ask God for forgiveness of your sins and shit. Ask God to bless your home. Ask God to be with you. Try to put God first. I understand that you got a lot of worldly shit going on and shit. You know what I mean? Pray for your neighbor. You know, be a genuine person. Don't be a scumbag. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your husband. And if you ready to do all that shit to folks you supposedly care about, just leave them alone. Cut your fucking losses. You know what I'm saying? And just move on with life. Go find something better if you think of something better out there and shit. And the bitch that you playing with your wife on the side, she ain't nothing better and shit. Cause if you'll leave your wife for the bitch that you cheated on your wife with, you'll cheat on the bitch that you just got with. So I mean, like, it's stupid for the bitch to even accept you. And that's just regular logic. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy in these streets, man. I'm praying for y'all, you know, and shit, man. I'm glad I wasn't at Mar-a-Lago, because they'd have probably took me and shit. I could have been there playing golf. They'd have probably took a nigga. Yeah, man. Oh, Roger Stone. Like, no, my name Mr. P.I. and shit. Roger, we've been looking for you. Like, no, but I'm Mr. P.I. Yeah, Roger. You Mr. Roger P.I. Yeah, come with us. Yeah, man, that's all the fuck I need and shit. You know what I mean? Is to be fucking, you know, talking shit from a cell and shit. But, it's all good, man. You know what I mean? Stay breezy out there. Stay easy out there. You man, don't allow yourself to betray yourself. Keep it a beam. You know, don't be a bitch ass person and shit. Share the show. Share the information from the show. Y'all know holding this information hostage make you a scumbag and shit. Don't be a fucking scumbag. I fucking appreciate y'all. And until next time, it's your boy, Mr. P. I bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up American news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. Look at it. I mean, look. The rule of law is just going out the window, to the window, to the wall, to the sweat drop down my balls. My balls. Oh, these Republicans crawl. Oh, ski, fucking Chuck Schumer. Oh, ski, Nancy P. Oh, ski, Adam Shifty. Oh, ski, fucking Chucky Shoe. Shit crazy, man. Yeah, man, I'm Jerry Nadler. You know what I'm saying? Shit fucking crazy, man. I'ma holler at y'all when I holler at y'all and shit, man. I ain't making no more promises on when I'm doing the show and shit. If I got the ability to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, fuck it. Then that's where we at. You know what I'm saying? I guess this God's way allowing me to take a break from the harsh realities of, you know, losing America in live time and shit. So I appreciate that. I'm about to watch some stupid box and make something to eat, man. I hope y'all niggas stay up and stay the fuck out the way. And protect your family. Y'all only got to the 18th if you want to buy some 80% lowers and get your game up and shit. You know what I mean? You only got to the 18th. If you don't do it by then you're pretty much fucked. You know, and I hope you don't fuck yourself. You know. But I'ma holler at you. And you already know who it is. Who is it? Who is it though? It's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
CivilianTalkPodcast.com. CivilianTalkPodcast.com. Take your ass over to CivilianTalkPodcast.com. Word on the street section. It's going to open your eyes to a whole new world of shit, bro. Trust me. Move your motherfucking switch.